Hi everyone, welcome to my brand new YouTube channel. This channel is all about how to be an effective SAP consultant and specifically around building unique SAP solutions, whether standard SAP or non-standard SAP, around SAP materials management, SAP warehouse management, or supply chain for that matter. The real purpose of making this channel is so that I can share my ideas, connect and exchange ideas with like-minded consultants in coming up with unique solution designs in supply chain that could benefit organizations. A quick brief about me: I'm an SAP techno-functional MM, WM and EWM consultant with 13 years of experience, and yes, I do know ABAP too. So if you have any questions, please drop your questions in the comment section below and stay tuned for new videos. Do not forget to subscribe and hit the notifications to get updates. So now moving on to my very first video, and this is a question that I have been asked numerous times by my colleagues, by my friends, and also by my customers. What does it really take to be a good SAP consultant? So without further ado, I'm going to jump straight to the points on what does it take. So point number 1, business acumen. As an SAP consultant, you need to have a very good knowledge of how businesses work in your area of SAP. As an example, I am an SAP MM WM consultant, so it is necessary for me to know how procurement works and how inventory management works, how warehouse management works, and what are the various business processes around warehouse management in a real business environment. Why is it important to know this? Because your ability to understand your client's requirements depends on your business acumen. Your knowledge of business will help you understand your client's requirements and will allow you to speak to them in a language which they understand. Remember, your clients are new to SAP. If you're going to go about throwing around jargons like purchasing organization, plans, storage locations, they're not going to get it because these are SAP terminologies. You need to speak with them in their specific language, and this is where business acumen plays a very big role. When you are able to speak to your clients in the language which they understand, you build confidence in your clients and they have confidence in you and in your ability to clearly understand their requirements. Moving on to point number 2, work organization and time management. Now, whether you're an SAP consultant on an implementation project or a support project, always learn to organize your work and manage your time effectively. What does that mean? Let's say, for example, you have a request from your client to meet a specific requirement of theirs. You need to make it a habit to list down all the tasks that need to be done in order to achieve the goal of your client's requirements. You need to have specific timelines set for each of those tasks in that list and who are the people that will be involved in that specific task. Why is this important? Because this will give you clarity on what exactly needs to be done, who are the people involved in those tasks if there are any dependencies on other people, and also it gives you the ability to measure your ability to meet the deadlines that you have planned for the various tasks on that list. In addition to that, if multiple people are involved in the task, make sure that this plan is shared with them prior to execution. This allows you to obtain feedback from them in case you missed out some tasks which are dependent on them, and then you can take their feedback, refine it, and reshare it with them for a second round of feedback and make sure that you have not missed out any of the tasks before you start the execution of the work. Coming over to point number 3, solution designing. Now, once you have your business requirements, now it is your ability to translate these business requirements into a good SAP solution design. Now, what are the points that you need to keep in mind while designing SAP solutions? Is the solution design that you have prepared efficient and effective? Have you eliminated the inefficiencies in your client's current business practice or current business process in the new SAP solution design which you have prepared? If yes, then please do highlight these to your clients. Is the solution design adhering to best business practices? Now keep in mind that SAP is a solution that has been designed based on study of various best practices followed by the top 10 industries around the world. However, it is quite possible that your client's requirements could not be met by the SAP's best practices. So in such cases, it is quite important that you respect your client's requirements and if necessary perform some kind of a customization in order to meet your client's requirements. And that comes the question of performing a gap fit analysis. What is a gap fit analysis? In case the SAP's standard solution does not meet your client's requirements, that could be identified as a gap. And in order to fit that gap, you need to come up with some sort of an enhancement or a customization to standard SAP, and your client needs to be well aware of this specific enhancement or this specific customization. And to have a better overview of a solution design, always prepare a high-level flowchart which shows the entire business process of your client and present the same to your client for their inputs. My personal recommendation is I always use Microsoft Visio, and no, I'm not promoting Microsoft in any way, but this is what I do. I make a simple Microsoft Visio flowchart which explains to the client what exactly is their requirement and what exactly their process would look like when they implement SAP. Now, the advantage of doing this is that once you present such kind of a high-level flowchart, your client can actually study the process and they could provide additional feedback and they could make some additional changes which they missed in the initial workshop. And this is quite beneficial for both for yourself and for your client in better improving their business processes. Coming down to point number 4, have strong written and verbal communication. Whether you're composing emails or speaking to people within your organization or to your clients, be very precise and be at the point. Always make sure you're communicating to the right audience. For example, if you're talking about a discussion on a business process design for one of your clients or customers, make sure you're addressing a business process design topic to the business process owner that has been identified by your client. For example, if I have to talk about a business process design for a supply chain procurement, I would most likely be talking to the supply chain manager or to the supply chain director, as they would be the appointed business process owner for such kind of a design. I cannot be talking about this to a warehouse supervisor or to a warehouse clerk. So always make sure that you are addressing your points to the right people. This will help you save your time and be effective in your communication. When it comes to written communications, such as composing emails, please make sure that your emails are void of any grammatical mistakes and that your emails are also precise and very specific to the point, and that you're addressing the emails to the right audience, similar to verbal communication. This is very important. Point number 5, be a good teacher. Now, what does it take to be a good teacher? One of the most important roles of being a good teacher is having a lot of patience. Now, your business users who are new to SAP, they are reaching out to you because they do not know SAP. They are so brand new to SAP and they might look at SAP as a very complicated product. But honestly, if you are a good teacher and if you have patience, you can always train your users to use SAP and to give them the comfort that SAP is not that of a complicated project. SAP is not that of a complicated product, and that with the right amount of training, they can use SAP efficiently for their day-to-day business operations. Now, keep in mind that not all the users for whom you provide training have the same knowledge grasping skill, and some of the users might require additional individual training to better understand the product themselves. Your users will gain confidence in you when you do this, and you never know, that once your user gain confidence in you and when they see that you have gone the extra mile to provide them additional training, this word spreads fast within your customer's organization, and this is always good for you as a consultant. Now, moving on to point number 6. Always be able to foresee issues and risk in your project and be able to escalate them in a timely manner. Now, what does this mean? Your ability to see issues that could affect your project and your ability to foresee risk within your project and escalate them in a timely manner could have a great impact on your project itself. Now, what is the difference between an issue and a risk? An issue could be something minor and that might not require a major escalation. You could escalate this in your weekly meetings to your project manager. However, if you identify a risk which could derail a project in terms of affecting the timelines, and keep in mind that if timelines are affected in a project, it will also affect the cost of the project. Please do raise such risk to your project manager or to your client's project manager or to whoever it is that you need to escalate them in a timely manner, but make sure you are addressing this to the right audience so that they can take the necessary preventive actions and the necessary corrective actions to avoid such issues and such risk from derailing the project. And coming down to my last and final point, point number 7. Provide value addition services to your clients or to your customers. What does this mean? Now, me as an SAP support consultant with 13 years of experience, one of my specialty is to analyze all the information that my clients have been feeding into the SAP system. For example, my clients create PRs on a day-to-day basis. These PRs are converted to RFQs and they receive quotations from their suppliers. These quotations are eventually going to be accepted or rejected by the procurement team, and the successful quote would be converted into a purchase order. A purchase order is then sent to my supplier, and the supplier acknowledges the receipt of the purchase order, following which the supplier would send a notification of the shipment of goods. This notification of shipment of goods is converted into an advanced shipping notification in SAP or an inbound delivery. Once the goods arrive in the warehouse, the goods are received by the warehouse in form of a GRN in the SAP system, and subsequent to that, the invoices are then submitted to finance to process of supplier invoices. One of my key roles in my existing project is to analyze the entire information and to analyze the entire process from the PR to the supplier invoice posting into SAP. What do I specifically look for? I look for how much time it takes for the PR which is created to be approved. How much time does it take for the PR to be converted into an RFQ? How much time does it take for my suppliers to provide me with the quotations? And how much time it takes for the buying team to take a decision to reject and to approve a specific quote? How much time it takes for my purchasing department to convert the approved quote to a purchase order? How much time does it take for my purchase order to get approved? And how much time does it take for my supplier, once they receive the purchase order, to submit an acknowledgement of the receipt of the purchase order? How much time does it take for my goods to arrive into my warehouse? Or how much time does it take for my supplier to provide me with the advanced shipping notification? How much time does it take for the goods to arrive into the warehouse? And how much time does it take for my accounts payable team to book the supplier invoice against the goods receipt? Now, it is very important that you perform such kind of analysis, and if you see some gaps within this process, that you provide this information to your client as a value add services. And if you could think of a process or of a new solution that could better improve the process at any point of time, please do highlight this to your client and prepare some kind of a presentation or some kind of a new solution design stating that this is your existing process and this is the gap within the existing process, and you have a new SAP solution design that could help you improve this process even more further. If you come up with solution designs like these are solutions which are value add solutions and which could greatly improve the efficiency of the process, and which could greatly improve operations and which could greatly improve the overall operations of the organizations. And such solutions are adding real value to the business organization, and your client will thank you once you have provided them with such value add services. Now keep in mind that this is subject to your authorization on what kind of data is available for you. Me as an SAP supply chain analyst, I have been provided such access to my client, and my client appreciates the fact that I provide them with such kind of data analysis, and I give them information up beforehand, and I come up with value add services, and I tell them like, hey, I have a new solution in mind that could improve this specific process. What do you think if I implement this? And they say to me, oh well, this is a very good idea, it could help improve this process, go ahead and implement it. So your client will be thankful to you when you provide such kind of a solution. And finally, that brings me to the end of all the points on what it takes to be a good and effective SAP consultant. If you did like this video, please do like and share this video with your friends and with your colleagues. If you have any further questions regarding SAP MM, WM or EWM or ABAP for that matter, please do drop your questions in the comment sections and stay tuned for new videos. Do not forget to subscribe and hit the notifications button to get an update on new videos.